Pinky and the Brain. I always say that, right? You got
Yeah.
those two mouses every night, Pinky and the Brain. Like, what, he's asking him, what is he doing? And then Brain's like, what we do every day. We're going to try to take over the world, That's just I've always thought about us that way. And then the car driver, right? When you're driving really fast, and you got a co-pilot with you and he's telling you left, right, and you're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That I think that right there would best describe mine and your relationship, because we're in a car moving about 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And turns are coming up so fast that if you didn't have me on the passenger side, you'd be off the track, you'd be in a tree, you'd be off the trail, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we complement each other.
For sure.
Right.
You've kept me alive, because, it's serious. Like, I'm friggin'. Okay, so here with my partner, Edwin.
What up?
And we wanted to do a video about how Regal came to be. We've been in business over 15 years. We've been in business so long that I forget how long. So we've gotten old together. We grew up together basically in this crazy world that we built together. And so I wanted to talk about our origin story and how it came about. And I'll let you describe it, because Edwin has a memory. I don't have a memory like this guy. He's got a memory, like, remembers everything. So that has got me in trouble before, but it's a great thing because I can just ask him, how did we meet? And he'll know every detail. So
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm a good storyteller, I guess, I mean,
I was
man, man, it's been a journey, hasn't it, Josh?
I'm old.
Holy heck, bro.
We don't have as much hair.
Yeah, that, right?
Yeah.
That's like the number one, right? But, I mean, it really was everything. Usually, it's crazy how God works sometimes, like, I'm not a church going man by all means, right? I'm just a everyday guy trying to live right in my own way, in my own right, and walk of life. But sometimes I think people and things are put in front of us to see what we're going to do with those, right?
Right.
Either we're going to rise to the occasion,
Right.
or we're going to fail miserably, right? And going into that, that's kind of what happened to me. I used to have a motorcycle business, and right when the economy tanked, I think like 05, 06, might have been 07, I needed a job. I had to shut down my motorcycle business. I repaired ATVs and did oil changes and sold used bikes and stuff like that. But in the economy that went bad, people's first thing to get rid of is those luxury items.
Yeah.
Those four-wheelers, those dirt bikes, they don't need oil changes that bad. They can stay in the garage,
Yeah.
or they'll sell them, right?
Right.
So it ended up coming to a point where I had to figure something out. And I had a family already. I had 3 children and living in the Woodlands, and I just needed a job. And I remember I was riding my bike one day, and I'm riding through the Woodlands, and I put my head down at a light, and I remember picking my head up, and I seen a now hiring sign. Every pool truck, right, Josh? Every pool truck says now hiring on the back, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. I remember I looked up and I seen the pool truck. I memorized the number real quick, pulled over, called them, and I asked for an interview that day at that company. And it was just so unorthodox that it really let me know that there is a God, right? It really let me know there is a higher power. And I interviewed there, and I actually ended up I sold myself. I needed a job, and I had to do what I had to do. And I said, hey, I would like a position here. I'm really good with my hands. I'm really good with my brain. I can make things work. I can take things apart. I said, how about you give me an opportunity and give me a job? I just need $9 an hour to start off. And you make the call whenever the time comes if you're going to bump me up. And long story short, I worked there for approximately 3 years, probably 4. And I moved up the ranks really quick. I made decent money at that point. I mean, I started at $9 and then slowly got bumped up, right, as they seen that I was pretty good. And then another company heard about me. The owners live out of the country. They lived in another country, and they're pretty much opening up a pool business for mailbox money, right? And that's where I met a guy named Joshua Buzzell.
Yeah.
I got hired onto there. They heard about me, and through a mutual friend, he put me in front of the owners, and they sold me the dream, man. You know, they told me that they would, you know, fly me out once a year and
They're full of shit.
yeah, but you know what? It was the worst
Yeah.
and best decision I ever made in my life because I only worked there for 7 months, but in those 7 months is where I met you,
Right.
right? Like, those 7 months, I was able to find another brother in this thing we call life, right? Because you would run the office and I would run the field, and you were such a guy that was just so high functioning that, and I seen it really early on, like nobody was forwarding phones when you were forwarding phones. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
back in the day, nobody knew how to forward a freaking office phone to a cell phone, right?
Yeah, I could do like 5 things at once.
You were doing that, right?
Yeah.
So like you were like, "Hey Edwin, can I hop in the truck with you and go ride with you and like just see what you do?" And that wasn't even your job.
Mhm.
Like you were running the office, you were running everything that had to do with office, right? And you still took time out of your day to like ride with me and like ask me what I was doing, right? Like, and I think you might have been doing that on another motive, right? Because you were seeing if I had knowledge, right? You were seeing if I knew what's up, right? To see if I really knew what I was doing. And at the same time, I was doing that to you, right?
I
Because I was
guess.
watching you in that truck.
I wasn't directly doing that.
You weren't, but
I
as
think I
you
wanted I think I'd have 2 left hands, and I wanted to learn more.
that's a good way to put it.
My
Right.
dad's good at that, you're good at that, but
Yeah.
I'm not good at that
Right.
type of stuff.
Right.
I'm not a mechanic.
Right.
I
Right.
pay people to
Yeah,
do
but
it.
the vision.
Yeah, I got the vision.
And I think the time us riding in that truck together, I think it allowed us to like understand each other, and you were able to see that mechanical
Yeah, I
side.
was like, "This guy's badass." I don't know what it is. I don't even remember.
And then and then I was saying the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, this fucking white boy's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like
Real.
this guy is about as real as they come.
Yeah.
And it was so fresh to me because not a lot of people are scared of that, Josh.
They're
You know,
intimidated by realness
yeah,
and
the
honesty.
world is full of sheep and
Yeah.
fake, right? And not intentionally. It's just what people are gonna do to not get uncomfortable, right? Like people don't want to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And man, you were that guy. You weren't scared to get uncomfortable.
No.
You know, I was there for 7 months. Next thing you know, it was like a wrecking ball came in one day, and you're like, I'm done. I'm not gonna.
Well, I didn't feel appreciated.
Yeah, right. You're like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm tired of making people money. I remember that. Right?
Yeah.
I remember that plain as day. And you're like, I don't want to do this no more.
So I was always good at selling myself to people. It was just I was really confident in what I did, but if you don't have anybody that believes in you, then you gotta go find somebody,
Right.
and that's what I had to go figure it out,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's how that happened.
Yeah, and pretty much, man, the rest was history, right? We started hanging out, and then you left one day, and like I said, I had a business before, and I was kind of climbing out of that financial hole I was in. And you asked me if I could partner up with you, and you're like, dude, I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
And I was really gun shy, man, because I had just failed, and it's hard to swallow that pill, right? Like when you fail at something, and then you have somebody that believes in you. Like I didn't like, thank you for believing in me, Josh.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
dude, I
everybody
was like
believes
at the lowest of lows, man. Like I was doubting everything I was doing. So at that point, I was like, maybe a 9 to 5 is for me, right? Maybe making the other man money and just keeping my head down is for me, right? And you didn't allow me to do that.
Yeah.
Like you believed in me and you were persistent, bro.
Yeah.
I remember I told you, I was like, no, I don't think right now is like the best time for me, right? And you're like, all right, man, cool. No big deal. You were nonchalant about it. But I think you were sweating it because you're like, I need this guy, right? You were like, I need him, right?
I'm not stupid. I know I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not good at, and I knew what it was gonna look like, and I knew, like I didn't I guess, how am I gonna describe it? It was never planned, it was just like
Never. Yeah.
yeah, it was
Never,
just like
never planned.
fluid.
Very.
And backing up, I started in this pool industry cleaning pools for $400 a week, but they gave me a gas card and a truck, and they were like, "Go do it." So I was badass at it. I'd be
Right.
home by noon playing Xbox. So I was just really high functioning, like you said.
Right.
So cleaning pools, 20 pools a day was really not hard for me. I knew how to do it. I was badass with that skim light. Like started from the bottom. I have to go to the boss. Hey, can I get a raise? So eventually I left because I found a better job selling paper in the city of Houston. Well, that sucks. It's hot. I had to make me wear a suit. So then I tried going back to the other company, and they were like, no, we just hired somebody to take your spot, which was Marquee Pools. But I saw what they were doing. I saw what Greg Watson was doing. I saw him building $1 million pools 15, 20 years ago. And I was working at those homes, and I was like, this is amazing. I want to do this, and it can be creative. And I didn't know anything else. And what happened was, Pool Studio sent me a demo disc, and it was game over. So it was free. I didn't even have the $99 a month to pay for it, but I would do it in the daytime, and I would learn it. And then I started paying $100 a month, and I'm like, I can do this. And then I actually sold my first pool on Craigslist before people were getting murdered and stolen. Um, and you remember that pool because you had to go fix
Yeah,
it
so
6
all
weeks
that
later.
so all that that Josh just said was right before my time. So you started Regal off, and me and you stayed in touch because I would do work for you on the
I
weekends.
couldn't do shit.
Like, I believe you were cleaning pools, right? Like,
Absolutely.
when you left,
I took 10 pools and I
yeah,
had to clean.
you had like 10 pools that you
Yeah.
cleaned, right? So then you were cleaning pools and you weren't doing a whole lot of repair work, so you would call me,
I couldn't do
right?
repair work.
I know, it was so crazy, and I was so blessed by it, Josh, because I needed the money, bro, you know? So I remember you would call me, and you'd be like, "Hey, man, you wanna do this salt sale?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Heck yeah," and we wouldn't even talk money,
Yeah.
and you would give me like $1,000. I'm like, "Holy crap."
Would I?
Like, yeah, you
I've
hooked
never
me
been
up,
called
bro.
money.
But I think it's because you really cared about me, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like me, right?
Right.
Because sometimes people can become that, especially in
We've
business,
seen
you
that
know?
a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not him,
right.
right?
And, when I seen that, Josh, when it came to the point where I was making more money working with you on weekends than at my real job,
Right.
it just took you asking me one more time. I think you asked me one more time. I had done several jobs for you already, and we were always talking and in contact, and you're like, "Hey, man, do you wanna partner up?" And that's when I said, "Fuck it, let's do it, but I'll only do it if we start a service side." And you're like, "Okay, let's do it," right? And that's how our
'Cause that's
story
what you
began.
knew.
That was my background, man, you know, like, I
You like
love working on
you like to
stuff
work
with
on
you.
stuff you know, right?
Dude,
Like you
love
do
it.
service.
Even when I don't know it, you know, I was that guy that if I didn't know something, I'm gonna open a panel up, and Imma call that 1-800 number,
Yeah.
and Imma call tech support, and Imma ask why, and I'm gonna wanna know what happened so I can fix it, right? So, that's the kinda guy I was, right? And then you could sell water to a well, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just remember, you had your 10 pools, and then we went off and we started, partnering up, and I got my 10 pools, and now we got 20 pools, and you're like, "Edwin, I gotta go build, you gotta go clean," and I was like, "Understood," right? Like, I think the biggest thing in business, Josh, is sometimes people don't understand their role, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta know your role in life, and you gotta know your role in business,
Mhm.
because when you have too many chiefs and not enough Indians is usually when people fail, right?
Right.
So I think uh I was very conscious of that, right? I knew that you were the visionary,
Right.
and I was the motor behind that frame, right?
Right.
I was the engine in there, right?
That's what we needed.
And, you were the gas, bro. We didn't have to give you any. You just wanted to go, go, go,
Still
go.
am.
Go.
Right.
And, man, that was 15 years
And
ago.
that's what makes people uncomfortable. Edwin's been the only one who actually had a spine to say, "No, this motherfucker gets it. He
Right.
understands it. He understands the big vision. It's not the small vision." And that makes people uncomfortable when you're told, "Hey, you didn't do a good job there." And they're like, "Oh."
It's easy to do that, Josh, when you've been in the trenches with me,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like, it's easy to do that because we were there.
Yeah.
Before anybody was there, it was us, right?
Yeah.
And when people see you now and they see you as Josh and they don't see you out in the field like you used to be, they
Right.
think you don't know,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So they take that for granted.
I don't feel that anymore.
I'm glad.
Because I
glad.
check them.
Good.
Checkahoe, Texas, because I was
That's
the
what you
one,
got to do.
like one just messed up and they didn't do our footer right, but I didn't have the option. I had to go rent a tractor and do my own footers, right? They don't have to do that. They live a soft, comfortable life, but that's why it's very important that we come back and tell us the stories that we've done because
sure.
they don't know the adversity that we had to overcome. They don't know that I used to have to design pools in the morning, build pools in the day, and then go sell pools at night.
And then do billing at your house.
Everything.
We would have to go to your house
Yeah.
in your spare bedroom
Mhm.
to do billing every month.
Yeah, I bought
right?
that desk from Office Depot for $100,
I remember, man.
$1,000 laptop, and a $100 printer.
And dude, it felt like we were taking over the world.
Yeah.
It was awesome. You know, it was
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't change that for the world, Josh.
Yeah.
You know,
It's been fun. Our families are best friends.
for real.
We do stuff together. We built a life that's awesome. Now we have, 30 great people that work for us. We have so many subcontractors. I don't know them all, but they all know. I have the respect of all of them because they understand the mission too. I told them that. So they get it like, hey, you got to let this guy lead. And then we got to support that crazy shit, even though we're not like the projects we build. they're huge.
So intricate.
And then you got to build them. But I have the confidence in our team now to say, no, I'm not where we got not just Edwin, but we got Miles, Andy, Jeff. We got people behind.
We got
us. Yeah, we have a roster of people who can execute these high level projects, and even the basic projects. That's a walk in the park. But the high level projects are the things that we've really built our name on, and it used to drive you crazy. But now you're like, oh, we can do that. I got that. And that's what I really love is the fact that even me or the Regal can instill confidence in people to do bigger and better things, and they're always behind a brand that's bigger than them.
But I think it's because we give them the tools, Josh.
Yeah.
Confidence isn't just going to get it done, right? Like we send our salespeople to training. We send our project managers to classes. We go to award shows every year. We go, like we are present in the industry, right? And I think that's what you have to be in order to continue to move forward with the times, because everything's ever so changing. Josh, you and I used to install 8-inch round drains in all of our pools. That hasn't happened in how many years now, so much has changed.
Yeah. And we've been able to weed out the weak people to get to the strong people that we have now, people who understand the vision, who aren't selfish and self-centered. And I think that's been a really big thing. You and I have been able to fade people like that in our lives and been true to each other and realize like, that's just noise. Those people are going to come and go, but we'll always stay together.
100%.
They are just weak. And that just happens in life. You have to be okay being yourself 100% of the time. And that might make people uncomfortable, but it doesn't make you uncomfortable, and it doesn't make me uncomfortable because we're both strong.
Right.
And so I think the whole story of Regal is that we overcame adversity to build something bigger than we could ever think of ourselves together. And that was the coolest part, is building something together, because anybody can build a business. And my grandfather always like, I can't believe you have a partner. Nobody partners like that. I was like, no, you don't. Edwin is different. He's like my bro. Like if I called him and I needed anything, he would be on the way already. And there's no price you can put on that. That's worth billions of dollars. Most people will never experience what we've experienced in life. And that's what I'm happy about Regal. It's not just a pool company that makes money, because it's never been about money. It's always just been about delivering a product that's better than everybody else's, because truth be told, I want to put my foot on everybody's neck in the industry and build the best pools I possibly can build.
Man, I've heard that for so many years.
Yeah. And we did it. And we're still doing
that's
it.
always been you, man. I remember when we first got our office over there off of 2920. And I was like, I'm so old school mentality, man. I'm Hispanic, so we think very old fashioned.
$2,000 a month or
something.
and
but it was Josh is like spending all this crazy money on advertising and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing, bro? Like, we need that. And he's like, trust me. He's like, people need to know our name. People need to know who we are, and I'll be damned, dude. Like the name now, right? Like the Regal name now has become like a stamp in the Houston area, where like they see this R and they know it means Regal and respect, right?
Yeah, badass shit.
Exactly.
You guys build badass shit. I hear it all the time. I'm like, yeah, you want one? Because we can do it. We have financing. But what else would we want to cover?
Man, just the origin, right? Like of us, right? So coming into it right now, we're 15, 16 years in the game.
Listen how different we are.
I know.
Where did you grow up?
North side of Houston, man. The northeast side of Houston, Bellway and 59.
Right by the airport.
Right by the airport.
Right. And I grew up in Bangor, Maine, surrounded with white people. Didn't have one Hispanic, one anything in my school. Escaped Maine as quickly as possible, came to Houston and met a guy who was nothing like me, but we became so close because he understands my differences, I understand his differences, and we come together and we're like, yeah, we complement each other. And we never would have thought, you have a twin and we complement each other very well. And your twin, you're both crazy, but you guys are different, right? It's like so different.
Right.
You just get me and I get you.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that had to do, Josh, with the fact that I've had a business, I tried it, I had a partner, it failed.
Yeah.
I kind of understood the logistics of what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And I got with the program.
Zero option mentality.
Yeah, man. At that point, Josh, when I told you yes, I knew that I was going to devote my freaking blood, sweat, tears, back, hands, everything, bro.
And I knew that. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to, but I knew that this guy would, and I was a good reader. I've always haven't been a good reader of people, but the ones that I've gotten right were really right. Your wife,
you just believe in everybody.
I believe in everybody.
It's not everybody. Yeah, it's just, you just got a big heart.
Yeah.
Like you've always been that way.
Nobody thinks that. Everybody thinks I'm a savage because I am.
But it's because you don't have a filter, man. Like you're you. You've always been you. And if they don't understand you, they can see you a little bit scary, right? But I understand you.
Yeah.
And I think it was because when it was nobody, it was just you and me.
Yeah.
And you and me were the ones that were having to work together every day. And then it came to a point where you were the designer, and then I was building your pools. You're like, Edwin, we're not cleaning no more pools. We're not making no more money there. Like,
Yeah.
let's go build, right? And then you're like, I need you on that front driver's seat driving that train.
Right. And look where it took
And you
us.
told me that, and then you said, I'm gonna take care of the vision and where we're heading and how we're gonna sell these pools. You don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, I tell everybody now, it's like, I don't know if a lot of people watch cartoons back in the day, but I was a big cartoon guy. I still am. Pinky and the Brain. I always say that, right? You got those two mouses every night. Pinky and the Brain, like, what, he's asking him, what is he doing? And then Brain's like, what we do every day. We're gonna try to take over the world, That's just I've always thought about us that way. And then the car driver, right? When you're driving really fast, and you got a co-pilot with you, and he's telling you left, right, and you're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I think that right there would best describe mine and your relationship, because we're in a car moving about 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And turns are coming up so fast that if you didn't have me on the passenger side, you'd be off the track, you'd be in a tree, you'd be off the trail, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we complement each other.
For sure.
Right.
You've kept me alive, because, it's serious. Like, I'm friggin' 1,000 miles an hour. I want to dominate. Not everybody likes us. We fail on projects, and, that shit
I mean, that's
happens.
part of life, man. Like,
Yeah. But
nobody has ever shown you and I, Josh, how to do anything right.
Right.
You and I have had to learn everything the right way, or the wrong way. I'm sorry, right? Like, we've had to learn it the hard way. Like, you and I have dug out freaking big old 16-foot walls, and then we're so proud of each other, high-fiving each other, and then we get back the next day and the walls are all wrong, right?
Selden Russ.
Yeah. And then we had to go redo it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
grown men.
yes.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a little different now here.
man, it's 2025, and the world has changed so much since you and I,
Yeah.
got in this.
But we were building pools that were, $500,000 like 10, 15 years ago. And not a lot of people were doing it. And we loved it. The engineering, the difficulty of it, we ran towards it,
But you did it right, bro. Like, what I mean by that is, like, yeah, we were moving 100 miles an hour, but you still were always trying to make sure that you weren't failing me. What I mean by that is, like, you were doing your part. You were going to engineers. You were going to soils reports.
Genesis
You were,
theory.
yes, you were doing all those Genesis classes. You got all those freaking certifications, right, bro? You got all that. So you allowed me to stay in my seat to do what I needed to do to build these pools that these high volume, these high quality, high detail pools that we build, right? So I think a lot of that had to do with you being able to stop. And I mean, like, you remember Hubbard? Remember the Hubbard pool?
Yeah.
Like, I still talk about that pool to this day. Like,
Yeah.
if you wouldn't have got that pool engineer, Josh, when Harvey came,
Yeah.
what would have happened to that job?
Yeah.
We would have lost we wouldn't be here anymore. You know what I'm saying?
But it held.
It held, dude, because you went about it the right way.
Right.
Before it came onto my lap, you had an engineer look at it. He engineered the crap out of it. There was piers, beams all over that place. Harvey came, undermined the bottom of that wall, and I was taking pictures underneath the work, and it didn't shift not 1 inch, right? The engineer came back. The engineer said, you guys are awesome, right? Now that engineer doesn't even question us, right? Like,
Shout out to Armac.
shout out. What's up, Barmac?
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
And that pool had to been built, the structure of it, before the house.
That's right.
Because it was like 16 feet up in the air.
And those are all things that, like, you were doing, still moving at 100 miles an hour. It was just a very, very small crew of us running in the field, and I think that has a lot to do with being successful, like making sure you're giving your teammates and your members of your team everything you could possibly do, so they are, and you always did that.
Yeah.
And when you didn't know, you would always be present.
Always.
So, and you did that probably for the first, I'm gonna say, year or two when I started helping you build, and you did that to allow me the time to understand how you thought, because you were designing these pools, and I had to understand what your design eye was at that time, because I was calling you every 10 minutes asking you, what about this? What about this? And you're like, well, I want it to look like this. But after about a year or two, I wasn't calling you on that little small stuff anymore, right? Like, we knew each other. You knew what I was doing. I knew what you were doing. And And that's how we built the brand, Josh. You know, that's how we were able to build a name.
So everybody saw my face, but I always gave you compliments
I know
on the
that.
backside because I was like, yeah, I designed them and I know I'm the face.
You still do it, bro. When we're at like,
So people will know you before.
yeah, when we're at the show, bro, I'll hear you always introduce me. That's my partner. You know, that's the guy that's always doing it, or
Right.
that's the guy that's always holding it down, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Because you have to be fucking real. Because most of these, they're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, people think it's so like, oh, Josh has got a good life.
yeah,
Josh is just going out to these shows and getting all these classes done.
shit.
But they have no freaking clue
Yeah.
what really happens when you're not here. And then when you come back and how everything hits the ground running when you come back, because you've been thinking about all this crap when you're over there, right?
Yeah.
And even when you're out of town, you're that guy that's always texting,
Yeah.
hey, are we doing this? Hey, are we doing, right? You've always been that.
I'm
So
obsessed with what we do because that is what God made me to do. Become obsessed with the pool world so we can dominate and put our foot on everybody's neck. And I really feel confident about that. That's why I love making this, because I can tell everybody like we're the best and put your shit up, whatever. You know, we got probably 98% success rate. We have 2% that are pain in the ass and we just can't deal with, and we just
and failures, you know, I mean, we're all human.
Yeah.
It's happen, right? I mean, we're building huge projects. I mean, we'd be lying if we say we don't have a thing happen here or there.
Yeah.
But we have built our business and our reputation on always doing the right thing.
and fixing it. We will
No.
fix it. We will repair it. We don't
How
give
much
a
money
shit.
we spent
Hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix things.
and it hasn't stopped, you know, like I don't, and it never will, right?
Never will.
Because just of who we are, right? We're
Yeah.
always going to do the right thing, you know?
And we build these custom pools in these backyards in Houston, which has terrible weather. It's humid,
Marble soil,
oil,
a lot of movement.
yeah. So we're always, you know,
It's
learning.
an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, every week is
But
fun.
we're not pussies.
No,
We're up for it.
Yeah.
We've always been up for it. We've been in this now for 15, 16 years, and I'm still out there. You know, customers will still see me.
Mhm.
I still go do handshakes at the end, right?
Yeah, so we do handshakes at the end of our project. So that's a huge thing. You come to the office, you're going to see me. I don't live a life of anybody different. I'm here every day. And then Edwin is building them every day in the field. He doesn't take days off either. And he's the actual guy at the end of the project who'll come shake your hand, make sure you're happy, make sure you're good, make sure that everything went, because we bonus our guys bonus our project managers based off of completion reviews and other things, completion times. Now, in order for them to make maximum money, they want to be able to do those things. And Edwin comes at the end and he always finds something wrong, not wrong, but he always finds something we can
For sure.
improve on.
Because that's just who we are, right? Like that's what I tell the customer when I'm doing that handshake. I always, you know, I'll go up to him. I'll ask him, how was the project? How was the project manager? You know, I'll ask him all the regular questions. And then I'll always tell him, before I leave your yard, I'm going to give it the Regal stamp of approval. I'm going to make sure that everything is good, right?
Right.
And I'll get on my hands and knees, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
To clean stuff.
Yeah, you know,
To
like
work on
I
stuff.
want to make sure, not even that, just to inspect. If I'm doing a walkthrough, I'll tell the homeowner, like, you know, once they go inside, I'll be like, hey, don't mind me. I'll be on my hands and knees looking down, right? Like, don't get worried if there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for those little things.
Because pools aren't always up here. They're
Yes,
here.
when people are swimming, right? How does that pool look when they're in the water? How does it look where the spa spillover is? Is there grout under that coping,
Yeah.
right? Like, is there grout under that planter? Is there grout under the fire pit?
Right.
So those are the things that other people probably don't look at,
Right.
that I know that we do because I'm the guy that looks for that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's been a huge thing for us doing that handshake.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for customers to give me the real talk, right? Like,
Right.
and I have.
You've had to have.
I have. How many
Built-
times have I came to you and said, hey, man, this is what's going on out there, right?
Yeah. We take it serious.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
serious.
We always listen to our customers. We never dismay anything they say.
Mhm.
We've always been that, right? Like,
That's why it's easy for us to get customers in here to do this.
Yeah.
Because we have cool clients.
dude, I had one earlier today. Like, you sent me a text like late last week, and you're like, hey, let's
Sunday.
on Sunday, dude. You know, like that's how fast you go, bro.
fast.
You're telling me
Victor.
sending me a text on Sunday
I can only have you so often.
to get a customer in here by Wednesday, right? But when you do good shit, Josh, and when you have a good relationship with your customers, you can do that, Josh.
Yeah.
You did that today too. You had a customer come in, right? Like we're able to do that as owners, as people that have done those jobs before. We're able to pick up our phone and we have that relationship with our customers that they will always be there for us, right? Like I called Eddie. I haven't talked to him in I don't know how many years, and
2018, we did it.
he was here in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
Like that is the relationship, and that is what matters to me and to you, right? Like, we care about that relationship because most times they're coming back.
Because I want to see them in their face and be proud of their project.
Yeah.
Not be like, oh shit, that thing happened with them. I
Right.
want to be like, hey, you enjoying that pool? It's pretty sick, right?
Right.
Is he telling us to wrap up?
No.
Okay. Should we keep going, Victor?
Yeah, we have almost 30 minutes. You want to keep talking? We'll keep talking. I like it. It's very good.
Yeah. Man, Josh, so I just
Really?
yeah.
It's that good?
Yeah, Josh.
Really?
Josh, you and I are fucking we're fire, bro.
Yeah. Talented people.
You know that, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're over here asking our guy, like, if it's fire, bro. What the fuck you talking about? Like,
I like him.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you and I, it's just like you either have it in you or you don't, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
we got it in us, Josh.
God
Like,
puts it in you.
this shit don't make this shit. I'm not comfortable, but it don't make me uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, like, I'm ready for whatever, right? Just like you are, right? Like, I know you don't want to do this. I know you didn't want to be the face. I know you didn't want to be that guy that has to speak at all these things.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
You know, like, because if you didn't do it, somebody would have to do it, right? Because that's how our company is going to have a face. That's how our company is going to have a person that they're going to identify a name with the face, right?
Yeah.
And we understood that so early on, Josh. It's crazy, you know, like how.
Yeah, I didn't want it,
that.
but then I like got it, like kind of like every time I did something in my life, I was always the leader in that thing. So I just kind of was like, okay, well, I understand it. So, and then I took it as a moral obligation to do the best job I possibly could. And that's why I did education. That's why I got involved. That's why I figured out and became obsessed with the industry. So I could take it back here and disperse it onto people, not just you, but other people.
Right.
And tell them like, hey, this isn't my way. This is probably the right way, but I'm going to need your decision making and your ability to fix it and make it work because I have the idea, but we need to like to come alive.
Yeah. It took a long time for you to say it just like you just did.
Well, yeah.
Because for the longest time, we were trying to put that thought that you just said down in the life that we were living that was so crazy and hectic that it just would never really stick, right? And I think a lot of that, maturity, right? And like time and, you know, as time goes, the more knowledge you gain and the calmer you get and situations arise and you handle them different.
And we learn each other.
Mm-hmm. But you've always allowed people to lead too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
unless they're weak, then they lead their stuff out.
Yeah. Every time, dude.
That just goes with insecurities in humans, and I understand they have it, but I've always had a standard of like, hey, if I'm going to live a certain way, you're going to have to, or just get out of my life.
Right.
I don't want people around.
There has to be an exchange in that value, right, Josh?
Like big time in my life right now. I don't mess with people because a lot of times they just suck the life.
And we're not trying to sound snotty about it, right? Like, we're not, it's just, there has to be a value there, right? Because if there's not, what am I gaining and what are you gaining? Because as leaders, we always want our guys to get better and be better and gain some knowledge, right?
Even now, if I tell people like, hey, if you give me something that value, then I will make sure I exchange that in some type of way. Not because I have to, but because that's the way I'm built.
Right.
And if I ask you to do something, then it's not like I wouldn't do it. It's just the way. I don't know how to explain that.
Josh, that's unspoken riz.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm going to say, like, to me, that's unspoken riz because you've always been that guy.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, you shouldn't say it anymore, Josh.
I don't need to.
Because you've always done it.
Yeah.
So, if they don't know you by now, they will never know you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they don't know that about you, then they'll never know you, man.
Right.
You know?
And they know where I'll be.
Yeah.
Right fucking here.
Yep. 9930 Boudreaux Road, man. Right on the side of 99. Yeah. Come hit us up.
All right. So you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Man, dude, it's been great, man. And I look forward to our future together, man. And
15.
Banging out some more monster pools and getting this monster dialed in, man, because we are on track to be a force to be reckoned with, man.
We are. Everybody knows. Yeah. That's why we put our foot on their necks and beat everybody in awards and get all these things just because we feel good about it. But we actually award our project managers and designers with that. So you don't see us, the actual people who design it, the project managers, they're the ones getting the award.
Yeah, remember that? Remember like when we first went to the awards and it was like just the designers or just like, and then we ended up saying, hey, man, this is a group thing. And now like, yes, the designer and the project manager.
It was that first best together. And I remember I told you, I was like, bro, I went up there and I designed it and I built it. I did it all, but I was like, man, I want the whole team up there. So the next time we won, the next time we brought the whole
and that's
team.
how it started, man, you know? And then we started doing that. And now at the shows, everybody does it, right? Like we were the first ones that started that, right? Because we used to just see the designers or the person that sold the job or the owners of the company, right?
Yeah.
And we wanted to share that success because it's huge, man. Like I mean, Miles went there with his newborn twins this year, right? Like,
Yeah,
we had little babies in the back over there crying, and he's walking up to get an award and so happy to be there.
we're doing pictures now. So we send guys around, our photographer, and he takes pictures at night, and our designers and our project managers are like, hey, where do I get those photos? When I get those photos, because they want to see how badass they are, because they want to win something.
For sure.
And so we've really surrounded ourselves with winners, and I think that's important. And a business is having not just winners around you, but having winners that want to win, and not just winners that are around you, but winners that want to win.
Yeah, because there's some entitled winners out there, right?
Yeah.
Like, just because they've won for so long, they think it's owed to them now, right?
Mhm.
And they think they belong in the winner's circle just because. And here we are an equal opportunity employer. Like,
We are
we
that.
treat everybody the same, Josh. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. It doesn't matter what your tenure here has been.
Yeah.
We will call it, if it's blue, it's blue. If it's red, it's
Yeah.
red, right?
Like, Emmanuel's the newest guy, and I swear to God, he thinks I'm the craziest white guy ever. But
Yeah.
he's so cool.
But he's bought into us.
He's so cool.
So at job sites, like at Minorovic, right? And we're doing the Minorovic project. It's a pretty big project. And he's this guy, Minorovic, he's got 2 guys that work for him full time on the property, right?
Right.
And they ask Emmanuel, they're like, well, what do you do at Regal? And his response was, he's like, well, I'm the gopher right now, but I'm going to be Edwin one day.
That's awesome.
Like, that's what he told those guys, right?
And,
Like,
and then the guys told you.
yes.
He didn't tell you that.
Yes.
They did.
Yes. So, like, dude,
He's
you got to buy into it, bro. Like, we got a 17-year-old kid, or I'm sorry,
18.
we have a 19-year-old kid here, right? Maybe 20. I think he's 20, actually.
Drives a vet,
Got
living good,
like-
pretty girl.
He's made all the right decisions.
Yeah.
And he wants to be a winner, right? And he's doing everything he can to be a winner. I remember when he came here for an interview, he's like, I want to be a project manager. And I said, man, you need to get some hair on your nuts first.
I think we like the younger generation because we see ourselves in
For sure.
because we weren't given an opportunity. We
For
had
sure.
to build our own, and we
For
can
sure.
give these guys an opportunity.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
That's good.
And that's great that we do that.
yeah.
That's great that we allow, and that we have a company that will allow a guy like Emmanuel to get that hair on his chest,
Yeah.
to get that exposure, to get that experience. So when they do become project managers, they're not a run of the mill, right? They know our processes, they know our systems, they've bought into our processes, they bought into our systems, and they're more successful that way. We start everybody here at the bottom.
Yeah.
Everybody here has to work their way up to whatever position they get here, right? So that's been the great thing about us.
Yeah.